All right. Good morning, everybody. I'm back in California. Roll up on a crypto talk. It is Friday morning, end of the week. Welcome. Go ahead and type your name in the chat box and also where you are listening in from. See, Lorna Vasquez, good morning. Who, me? Bethany Gibbs from Seattle. Icons Global Network. I'm not sure who that is. But from Dallas, Texas. Shane West, Chicago. Cynthia from Phoenix, Arizona. Linda from Seattle. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button on the YouTube channel. As a disclaimer, I'm not a licensed financial advisor to be giving financial advice. I read the news, give my opinion, share suggestion, and it is up to you to make an informed, intelligent decision on which direction you want to go into. Jeremy from Alabama. Oh, that's James Davis. James, and congratulations on all of your success and recently getting married as well. That's my man. Yes, I'm back from Texas. My very first time in Austin, Texas, and we had golf ball size hailstorm and tornado watch on, what night was that? Wednesday night. So I got to stay up and watch all the lightning late that night. There's 4 rules I live by in the crypto space to have success. Rule number 1, education is key. Education is everything. Rule number 2, never invest money that you cannot afford to lose. Rule number 3, always get your return on investment back as fast as possible. And rule number 4, where do you see yourself in 3 months, 6 months, a year from now? What are you willing to do to make that happen? Make a decision, take action, and remain focused. Do not get distracted. Now, following these rules is not going to guarantee you success, but it will at least minimize your risk. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the most that we can ask for. All right, so let's get things started with my screen share. Interesting things to cover this morning. All right, first we'll look at the coin market cap. 181 billion. That is the highest I have seen it in a while. I did not do crypto talk yesterday, so I missed some stuff. It might have gone a little higher yesterday, but we are up 0.5% in the last 24 hours. Bitcoin dominance, though, has risen 51.4%, which meant that volume has gone to Bitcoin. It was at 50-point-something%. Ethereum is up over 10%. Ripple, 7.69%. So Bitcoin is solid green the last 7 days. We've got Ethereum also solid green. Ripple's had a little downturn in the last 24 hours. This looks almost flat to me looking at this. Mark, let's see the top performers. Digix Dow up 22%. Let's see, Electronium is having a little run. It was up 12.6% the last 24 hours, but it is down almost 7% the last hour. So you see this, look at the chart there, it just kind of shot sky high. I'm not paying any attention to Electronium until it passes at least 1 or 2 cents, if it ever does. I think that by default it will when the entire coin market cap rises, but I don't know about their development team. Binance Coin up 12.3% since they have some new news about Binance Coin. You know, at one time this coin was worth like 0.001 cent or something like that. That's $24 a coin or 0.1 cents. $24 a coin now. People made a lot of money on that if you got it back in October, November 2017. Cosmos is up 12%. Wobi Engine Coin had a little run, up 6.4%. I'm watching that coin closely. Worst performers. Let's see, the worst performers we have. Cardano, down almost 4.5%. Digitex Futures, 4%. Augur, any top coin. Tezo, negative 2.6%. Tron, negative 1.6%. Stellar, negative 1.5%. Not by much. But for me, it looks like a flat market. Let's take a look at the news. First up, since I mentioned Binance, let's get the Binance coin. I'll put this link in the chat box for you. Good morning, Lee Dickey, Karen, Morgan, Lee from North Carolina, Antoinette from Delaware. Binance coin price hits fresh 52 weeks high after leaving Ethereum. Leaving Ethereum. Now, what does that mean? For those that don't know, let's see. Binance coin, which is BNB, is reasonably on the radar now for investors seeking bullish momentum. The Binance Crypto Exchange's native token established a new 52-week high, up 81 or 81.49% from its 52-week low price of $4.19. The move prompted BNB to come closer to retesting its all-time high price of $24.91, which accomplished this during January 12th trading session in 2018. But are there more gains in store for this crypto asset? Yes. Let's take a quick look at its near-term market outlook to understand where it might head next. Binance on Thursday announced that it would launch Binance Chain, a public blockchain network which will support BNB tokens on April 23rd. The exchange will soon integrate its decentralized exchange platform into the Binance chain. At the same time, Binance will allow projects to issue new tokens on its chain, effectively enabling them to run initial coin offering rounds by raising funds in BNB. Even though it's running right now, if you have not gotten any BNB coins, now might be the time to get some. Binance will earn a small fee from each trade on its decentralized exchange. The firm will also charge a listing fee from projects that issue their tokens on Binance Chain. According to CEO CZ, the listing fees could be as high as $100,000 based on the size of the project. Binance Decentralized Exchange will not hold custody of customers' tokens. The service will most likely attract traders looking to retain the ownership of their private keys. That is very good news. Binance confirmed that they would use a limited number of nodes to run the Binance chain. It means that the custom blockchain will be less decentralized than that of Ethereum. On a positive side, it will be able to process a couple thousand transactions every second to ensure a smooth running of the decentralized exchange on it. More gains ahead. Binance Chain holds promises to attract more BNB adoption following its launch. On the other hand, Binance runs a token buyback event, reduces its BNB supply every quarter. The economic outlook presents a bullish scenario for BNB investors in the long term, boosted further by Binance's impressive year-to-date performance in the market. So Hash Global says, in our base scenario, BNB is valued at $106, which gives BNB a total value of $20 billion US dollars, exceeding possibly $15 billion valuation of Binance's equity. Now, that's what they say, $106, right? Let's take a look. Right now it's at 23 bucks. So we still got at least $100 more to go on this thing. So even though it's risen 38% over the last 7 days, it might be a good idea to hold some of these coins. See what happens over the next year. All right. Let's talk about Quadriga. Those of you who do not know, I shared this in Texas at Jim's house the other night, Tuesday night, about the difference between private keys and public keys, and the difference between you controlling your own keys in your own private wallet and having a wallet on an exchange, and why you do not want to keep your coins on an exchange unless you're trading. Do not use an exchange to hold your coins. That's a bad idea. And here's an example. Quadriga at one time was the largest exchange in all of Canada for a couple of years. So you think, oh yeah, that's secure, until it's not. When the CEO dies mysteriously in December, they don't report his death for 30 days, and next thing you know, $190 million is missing. Where'd the money go? I called fraud from day one. This story sounds fishy. So let's see what's the update now. Let me give you this link. Good morning, Court. The late CEO of Quadriga crypto exchange, Gerald Cotton, feared for his life due to the vast amounts of funds he exclusively controlled, a former colleague and friend has said. Okay, now this is new news. We are now coming into May. Why wasn't this shared in January that he feared for his life? He did make a will November, 1 month before he died. He made a new will. Yet he's the only one who had access to the keys of where all the money is. And then when they looked at the wallet, there was no money there to begin with. And now we hear, oh yeah, he feared for his life. Why? Per cryptocurrency entrepreneur Adam O'Brien, Cotton worried that he could be kidnapped over the crypto assets worth millions of dollars that he exclusively had access to, according to Global News. Says Jerry was holding, we know, over 100 million, almost $200 million in funds. Really? Then where's the wallet where that money is? Even if he has the key and he's dead, so you can't get to it, you can still see the money in the wallet. Where's that wallet? That makes people do some pretty crazy things. I think Jerry was aware of that, and I think he was kind of worried that something might happen. I'm calling BS on this story. I don't know if this guy Adam is trying to get headlines. The reason I call it BS, if you're worried about being kidnapped and for your life, why do you travel from the safety of your home in Canada and you go to India? Does that make any sense? You're worried for your life. There are already reports how Russians have been kidnapping people all over Asia for their crypto, yet you're going to take a trip to India and then you die mysteriously in India and then your death's not reported for a month? Are you really even dead? See, this type of story here, this claim makes me question the validity of his death again. Such information might offer some hope to the 115,000 users of Quadriga whose crypto assets are in limbo. However, it would be infuriating to them if Cotton did nothing about it. O'Brien has stated that the only way to access the funds would be if Cotton had set up contingency measures. The crypto entrepreneur has suggested that Cotton could have set up a backup system. That's why I said check the wife or the widow. You need to have cameras on her 24/7. Arguing that Cotton was super smart, O'Brien stated that a dead man switch would be something that Jerry would have had set up before he passed away. Now, I agree with this, because if he was smart enough to say, you know what, I might be in fear of my life, let me go ahead and set up a will in November 2018, he dies in December 2018, that he wouldn't have had plans if, and this is a big if, he really did have control over all of that money. My personal opinion is that there is no $190 million. My personal opinion is they lost that money throughout 2018 and it's gone. It was gone before he died. And they were afraid to put that info out, which is why he was paying the withdrawals out of his own personal account from other people withdrawing from the Quadriga wallet. The money's gone. This is all like an exit scam, a cover-up. This is my opinion, based on my own experience in paying attention to the news. If Cotton set up a dead man switch when activation, okay, usually a dead man's trigger is activated after a preset period of inactivity on the user's part elapses. Some dead man's trigger services send an email to a user after a specified period, say a month or two. The user is expected to respond to the emails by clicking on a link. If the link is clicked on, then it is assumed that all is fine. But if the user doesn't click, the trigger is activated either immediately or after a certain grace period. Activation could involve sending emails to appointed recipients with specific instructions. It could also involve sending them encryption codes, which grant them access to locked accounts. Okay, see, here's why you want to have eyeballs on whoever his close personal friends and partners are and the wife. If he did this dead man switch thing, he could have it set a year later. After things die down, all of a sudden the wife gets an email and now she has access to $190 million a year later or 2 years later. So far, it has been more than 4 months since the Quadriga CEO died while traveling in India. He feared for his life, but he's traveling in India and dies. The court-appointed monitor, Ernst & Young, still hasn't been able to access the funds that Cotton had control over. But even when a dead man switch is activated, the appointed recipients could still choose to keep it under wraps. Exactly. In the case of Quadriga, this is concerning, given some of the troubling information that has recently been uncovered. This includes the co-founder, Michael Patron's past. Prior to moving to Canada, the co-founder had been convicted of identity theft in the United States, among other crimes. In the U.S., he was known as Omar Denani, but in Canada, he changed his name to Michael Patron. When confronted in February about this, he denied, despite legal records proving this to be the case. So I'm still going back to exit scam. If he had a dead man switch, and if his recipients are his wife and partners, and they have it set for a year, 2 or 3 years later, they can get this and the authorities not even know about it. Especially if the authorities still don't know what wallet all the money is in. Because the wallet that these guys said where it is, there's no money in it. Where's the money? That's the one thing about the blockchain. Every transaction is recorded. So even if the CEO died with the only keys to the wallet, you can still see the money in the wallet. We know Satoshi Nakamoto, whoever Satoshi is, controls a wallet with over 1 million Bitcoin in it. It hasn't moved in 10 years. only he or that group has access to that wallet. Like, for example, if Craig Wright, self-proclaimed Satoshi Nakamoto, decides to prove he actually is, all he has to do is move one Bitcoin from that wallet and, oh, yeah, okay, that's you. So this CEO, we should be able to see the $190 million. Where is it? Nobody knows what wallet it's in. I'm still claiming exit scam. The hopes of the 115,000 users now lie with the court-appointed monitor. With Quadriga having formally entered bankruptcy proceedings, Ernst & Young will now receive enhanced investigative powers. I'm still going to be watching this one closely. This is still unfolding. Still unfolding news. Speaking of Craig Wright, he is in the news. So before I left for Texas, there was news about Bitcoin SV. That is Craig Wright's coin. And he started acting crazy on Twitter, saying that he was going to sue anybody that's saying anything negative about him. And there was backlash. The other exchanges said, you want to play that role, then we're going to delist your coin. That's the worst thing that can happen for Craig Wright. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. Binance, Kraken, and then a domino effect. All these exchanges started delisting Bitcoin SV. And what was it, a 30% drop in price for the coin? So what now? What's the latest news? Let's post this. Self-appointed Bitcoin creator sues podcaster for $140,000 for Satoshi libel. Who's next? Self-proclaimed Bitcoin inventor Craig Wright has finally filed a lawsuit against the What Bitcoin Did podcaster Peter McCormack. The podcaster simply tweeted "served" alongside an image of the suit papers. Oh, can I read this? Let's see. Dear Sir, Mr. Craig Wright versus Mr. Peter McCormack, we enclose by way of service claim form. Please confirm acceptance of service by signing a copy of this letter and or by email. Really? In the suit, Wright accuses McCormack of libeling him by denying he is Satoshi Nakamoto. What? This guy has lost his mind. You really want to play this that you're really Satoshi Nakamoto. This is sometimes people's ego, or most of the time, people's ego is their downfall. If he wants people to think he's a Satoshi, go ahead and do that. But now you're going to sue somebody for saying you're not when you've never proved that you are? This is your downfall. The pseudonymous creator of Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto, McCormack had sent a tweet on April 10th, not only denouncing Wright's claim, but also claiming him to be a fraud. Well, if you're going to sue everybody who claims you're a fraud, why didn't he sue Vitalik Buterin, the inventor of Ethereum? He flat out at a blockchain expo with Craig Wright on stage, stood up in the audience and yelled, "You're a fraud. You're a scam artist. You're not Satoshi Nakamoto." So why is Craig Wright going after this guy over a tweet? So dear Peter McCormack, Dr. Peter McCormack, dear at Calvin Air, I would like to formally state that 1, Craig Wright is not Satoshi. 2, Craig Wright is a fraud. And 3, I hope as many people retweet this as possible. Please send legal correspondence. Okay, he did legal correspondence, all right. According to Bloomberg, Wright's lawsuit is seeking nearly $130,000 in damages. The lawsuit is also seeking to gag McCormack from publishing or making similar comments. You can't do that. The lawsuit did not come as a surprise, as in an earlier interview, Wright had warned he would sue McCormack A similar warning was issued to Ethereum. Oh, there we go. Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin. Oh, well, I got to pat myself on the back. Education is key. Education is everything. Brandon, why do you do 2 crypto talks a day? So I can stay up on the news, know what's going on in this space. Per Wright, he was targeting the 2 because of their level of influence in the cryptocurrency sector. By going to court, Wright has argued he will have a chance to prove he is Satoshi rather than let it be decided by the Twitter mob. He will have a chance to prove he's Satoshi. This is going to be really good. Like, you know how you have the court case of the century or the decade, like OJ or Unabomber, things like that. Well, in the crypto space, this is going to be the lawsuit of the decade. Craig Wright is going to go to court and prove that he's Satoshi Nakamoto. Really? Got my attention. So by going to court, Wright has argued he will have a chance to prove he is Satoshi. You don't need to go to court to do that. Move one of the Bitcoin out of Satoshi's wallet right now. Move it to one of your other wallets. Move $50 worth. Move $10 worth of Bitcoin from that wallet. Why the drama? Why the attention? The true identity of Satoshi Nakamoto has been a long-standing mystery in the crypto space. Someone asked me, Brandon, who do you think Satoshi Nakamoto is? I don't think it's one individual. I think it is a group or an organization. That's what I believe. And I do not believe Craig Wright's part of that. I do believe Craig Wright was involved in the beginning after the white paper was written. But he is not the creator of it. Uh-oh, me saying that, am I going to get sued now? The first time Craig Wright's claim to be Satoshi gained prominence was in December 2015. This was in a Wired article which was based on a leak. 1. Craig Wright as Satoshi. I've been actively following Bitcoin on a daily basis for the last 6 years. I remember reading this Wired article on publishing day and laughing at its idiocy as Craig Wright became more public. Now that I reread it, Craig Wright, it got more interesting when it was subsequently discovered that Wright was behind the leak. The Australian, now resident in England, was undeterred and went on to offer cryptographic proof that he was indeed Satoshi. That, however, proved to be inconclusive, and since then he has become a subject of mockery over his claims. Buterin and McCormick are not the only deniers, so who will Craig Wright sue next? If Wright is mostly targeting the high-profile crypto personalities who refute his claims to be Satoshi, the list of lawsuits is only likely to grow longer. This is because of the sheer number of people who have publicly called him out. This includes Roger Ver, a former Wright ally in the Bitcoin Cash camp before the Bitcoin Satoshi vision split. In a recent video, Ver stated that Wright, who now backs BSV, is a liar and a fraud, urging him to sue me. Yuan Wu, former CEO of the Bitcoin mining giant Bitmain, is another figure who recently ruled out Wright being Satoshi. That's a disturbing image, but Jiwan Hu, Craig Wright is not Satoshi. Okay. CZ, the CEO of the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance, also recently denounced Wright's claim. At the same time, He threatened to delist BSV from Binance over rights threats to sue those denying his claims. Zhao eventually made good his threat, causing BSV to fall in value as other exchanges followed his example. So CZ says Craig Wright is not Satoshi. Any more of this S, we delist. An attack against one is attack against all. Additionally, crypto influencer and U.S. presidential aspirant John McAfee has also rubbished Wright's claims to be the inventor of Bitcoin. McAfee said, "Enough is enough. There are at least a dozen crypto adherents who know the true identity of Satoshi. I can assure you 100% it is not Craig Wright. This absurd claim of Craig's is incomprehensible. Mr. Wright, have you no shame? Seriously, sir, have you no shame?" A little birdie told me that this group is about 4 people. 2 of them have already passed away, and one's a woman. So when I went to that blockchain expo back in last year in LA, and Monday was all women's, they said, "Hey, what if Satoshi Nakamoto's a woman?" It was a woman who created Bitcoin. Wouldn't be surprised. Anyways, Craig Wright's support. Wright is not without supporters, though. Among those who have steadfastly stood by him include his colleague in the Bitcoin Satoshi Vision Camp, Calvin Ayre. The Canadian Antiguan casino and crypto entrepreneur fondly refers to Wright as the father of Bitcoin. Anyone actively, this is what Calvin Ayre tweeted, anyone actively involved in trying to stop Craig from proving his legitimate legacy to the world is involved in this fraud against humanity. We need the truth now. You know what? I think we need a special counsel. Let's go get Robert Mueller to do a special counsel to see, is Craig Wright Satoshi Nakamoto? Was there collusion? But again, enough with all this. Just move a Bitcoin, and that will shut everybody up. Why go through all this? I think it's all about promotion, self-promotion. I think that's what this is. But it's going to backfire on them. I would not right now, but with all this, I would have absolutely no faith in the BSV token. I own some of it, and I'm like, should I hold on to this? Should I sell it? I got it for free anyway. I didn't actually go buy any. Those of you who understand this, if you own Bitcoin Cash, when it forked, you got an equal number of Bitcoin SV. So I got it for free. Is it worth holding on to? This dude's crazy. But he's also a genius. You know, there's like a thin line between crazy and genius. All right, last article up. Bitcoin bulls. Undervalued Bitcoin will be a multi-trillion-dollar asset class. This is why I can't sleep at night. This is why I am willing to get on a plane and travel around the country and the world. Why I changed my career goals, my entire focus. This is why. See, you got to know the numbers here. Everything that's in the crypto space right now is based on 181 billion. Let's use common sense, okay? But how do you know, Brandon, that Bitcoin is going to be big? Let's just use common sense. Play with math, doesn't lie. Everything right now, all of crypto, 181 billion. When Bitcoin got to almost $20,000 a coin, this number had crossed 900 billion. It was still less than a trillion. Still less than a trillion. All experts know that this is going to be in the multi-trillion-dollar range, not just the crypto, but Bitcoin itself. What is Bitcoin's value right now? It's less than 100 billion right now. They're talking about Bitcoin being worth in the trillions by itself. Just by default, you have no choice but to get filthy, stinking rich. Whoa, look at this. Bitcoin's up 53.11. Where's my Polonius? I gotta look at this. 24-hour high, 53.28. 24-hour low was 51.96. Now this is really interesting. What is their bot doing? What? Something big's about to happen. Something big's about to happen. Why? I look for patterns. The bot on Polonius is normally at 32 Bitcoin. Buy order and 32 Bitcoin sell order. Let me see. Now here's what happened. This is the first time ever I have seen this. And it's always been a whole number. It was at 50 Bitcoin at one point, then dropped to 32. Now look at it. It's 28.2, which means it actually did some transactions. And here on the sell side, 28.2. Okay, let me hold off on that. That number is consistent, the same, but it dropped from 32. Why? So it has a buy order in at 52.52. That's what they're calling the bottom right now. It's got a sell order in at 53.26. So those of you that day trade, I'm going to give you a free nugget here that's going to make you some money. I would put my buy order in, since this one's at 52.52, I will put my buy order in at 52.70, somewhere around there. Then I will put my sell order in, since this is at 53.26, probably at 53.15 or so. You're going to make some money. I'm just saying. I don't day trade anymore, but I know how to. I just have no patience to sit here and watch this chart all day long. It'll drive me crazy. Oh, this looks, wow, look at this. Look at this new wall. This is steep. So the sell wall is at 53.84. The buy wall, look at this steep wall here, is at 51. All I can say is I can predict something big is about to happen. I don't know in which direction. But if it does pass 53.73, and then again 5,400, I'll say 50. If it passes 5,400, it can slide all the way to 6,000. And that's going to be even to where the buy wall is. But it could slide all the way there. Really, it could slide all the way up. There's no significant wall after that. This might shock everybody. Because I'm still under the impression I don't see it passing 6,000 this year. But it looks like something might happen this month. Hey, numbers don't lie. I'm just reading the charts. It's going against what I personally believe was going to happen. I still think there's going to be one major market correction down to the 3,000 level. But something's going on here. Whales are doing stuff we don't know about yet. All right, let's get back to this article. Undervalued Bitcoin will be a multi-trillion-dollar asset. Oh yeah, okay, that's what we're talking about. Bitcoin's gains may not be parabolic, but the price is moving steadily higher. With BTC currently hovering at the $5,300 level, the mood around crypto has improved tremendously. Nonetheless, the Bitcoin price continues to trade 75% below its peak. A new report by Adamant Capital suggests that the smart money represented by BTC Wells is in an accumulation phase. This chapter reflects the last phase of the bear market. The firm, which runs a Bitcoin Alpha Fund, is advising value investors that now's the time to buy. Once the BTC bulls solidify their grip, the Bitcoin price is headed for the moon, the analysis suggests. During this accumulation phase, we expect for Bitcoin to trade in a range of 3,000 to 6,500. See that? Until the new bull market permanently cements the denarian cryptocurrency as a multi-trillion-dollar asset class. So there's that range again, between 3,000 and 6,500. I think it's going to go back down to 3,000. So it might bounce around 3,000 to 6,500 for a couple of months, or I say this whole year. Demeester says, our take on the Bitcoin markets, recorded December 13th, more analysis coming soon. Okay. Also, they wrote out a whole article on this. All right. Big investors got cold feet in 2018. No. The market was manipulated in 2018. Big investors started building the infrastructure and investing in the infrastructure, not actual Bitcoin itself. That's my opinion. The crypto market is headed to the big time where it will go toe-to-toe with assets in the capital markets. So how do you explain last year? When the price cratered below $6,000, BTC holders got spooked and sold. Wrong. Wrong again. BTC holders got spooked and sold when the market started dropping from 19,000, and this was December 2017, January 2018. That was when the retailers got spooked. It wasn't when it was at 6,000. The reason why it dropped from 6,000 to 3,000 happened October, November 2018 because Bitcoin Cash forked and Craig Wright acted a fool. That's why. Again, guys, don't believe everything you just read. You know, you got to do your own research. Education is key. So you're able to, when you read stuff like this, you're able to sift through what is real and what is not. It's going to save you a lot of money. That is why what we do is so important. The education we provide is so important. Notice I kind of talk in code because we're about to launch something, and I got my hands tied. I'm under an NDA. I can't say what I want to say yet. But it's education. You know, that hasn't changed. Anyways, the crypto market, I read that part, says they think the crypto market is headed to the big time where it will go toe-to-toe with assets. They say BTC holders got spooked and sold. Adamant Capital points to more than 70,000 Bitcoin days being destroyed. 70,000 Bitcoin days? What does that mean? 70,000 Bitcoin days being destroyed. Okay. Conditions worsened when crypto exchange Coinbase redirected some of its BTC. This activity combined gave institutional investors cold feet at year-end 2018. What a difference a new year makes, and the institutions have begun to dip their toes back into the crypto waters. I don't agree with any of that. That's a good analysis, but that's not what happened. But that's just my opinion. You know, whatever. Let's see. Based on the historical highs and lows of Bitcoin, we are back in undervalued territory. Oh, well, let me prove what I mean. You know, I don't like to just say something just to say it. He says that they got spooked by the end of last year. That's why they sold. And now they're getting, you know, unspooked and confident, and they're coming back in beginning of 2019. That's what they say. Here's what I say. Bitcoin Cash fork forced the price of Bitcoin and the entire market down. It wasn't because they got spooked. It was manipulated that way. What you're seeing now is a correction back to where it was in November of last year. This is not a bull run. It is a correction back to where it was because something not natural occurred. Craig Wright. That was an unnatural event that moved the market. So we're just getting back to that point. We got to get back to the $9,000 region. That's when investors actually got spooked. It was a 9,000, 10,000 region. They got spooked and it dropped from there to 6,000. All right? Just know your history. Based on the historic highs and lows of Bitcoin, we are back in undervalued territory. We always were. The true value of Bitcoin is $14,000 a coin right now, in my opinion. That doesn't mean the Bitcoin price won't retest November lows, but the dynamics are shifting. They point to low volatility, which is a surefire sign that the trigger-happy retail speculators are out and agnostic traders are on, and long-term value investors are in. Accumulation phase. So if Bitcoin is back in strong hands, why aren't we seeing the price spike? Yeah, what's your reasoning for that? The accumulation phase reflects a time when value investors buy the dips. Turns out they are in no hurry to do so. They will continue accumulating BTC throughout this phase, however long it takes. That explains why the market will be range bound for a while. I agree with that. I agree with that statement. The thing to remember is that leading cryptocurrency fundamentals remain solid, and the ecosystem is developing at a rapid clip. I agree with that as well. If they're right, the Bitcoin bulls are just warming up. I agree with that as well. All right, that is it for Crypto Talk for today. This is Friday, so I do not do Crypto Talk Friday nights. I will be getting my Wingstop tonight and relaxing. So with that, I hope you guys learned something new. As always, that is the point. Start building your portfolio. Get ready for what we are about to launch. What do you think I was in Texas for? If you knew who I was meeting with, you know, these aren't just Billy Bob and Cousin Pookie on the corner. I was meeting with some major players in the industry, and they're excited. This is going to happen with or without you. We just invite you along for the ride. So with that, everybody have a great day. I will probably be doing a crypto Facebook Live either today or tomorrow to cover part 2 of what I did at USC last week. We're going to cover what is the blockchain in layman's terms, in a way that my mom can understand. I don't know when. It's just going to go on Facebook Live when I'm ready. And if you can't see it live, you can always go back and watch it. It'll be on my Facebook page. So with that, you guys have a great afternoon. Bitcoin Brandon out. God bless. Bye-bye.